What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Pick Six Podcast, YouTube exclusive early look ahead to Week 14 NFL lines. I'm Will Brinson, joined, of course, as always, Ryan Wilson, Sean Wagner, John Breech. What's up, boys? Let's dive right in the lines. Reminder, you can get our Week 13 Sunday recap and all 8 of our shows throughout the week by subscribing in Apple Podcasts, and go ahead and click that little subscribe button on YouTube right now too to get all the great content from CBS Sports. First up, Cowboys at the Bears. Thursday night football should be. This is the Jason Garrett special. He is his rear end, his tuchus, as Al Michaels likes to say, is cooking Ryan Wilson, and he's a 3-point favorite heading to Chicago to play the sad sack Bears. What do you think about this game? Over under 43. Cowboys -3.
Are the Bears sad sack, though? They've won 3 of their last 4. The Cowboys have lost 3 of their last 4. Both teams are 6-6. It feels like this could be Jason Garrett. He might have to walk home from Chicago if they lose this game. But you have to look at the details here. So here's the deal with the Bears. They've beaten the Detroit Lions twice. You may know how I feel about the Detroit Lions. And they've beaten the Giants. Not exactly a killer's row of NFL football teams. Meanwhile, and admittedly, the Cowboys have underachieved, but they've lost to the Vikings, they've lost to the Patriots, and they most recently lost to the Bills. So I think you have to take that into context. And also, as you point out, Brinson, Jason Garrett is coaching for his life. And when his back's against the wall, he actually coaches better. He's not afraid to go for it on 4th and 2. He has a plan in terms of when it's 2nd and 7, and he needs to get 7 yards in 3 more downs. He will go for it and plan to do those things. So I think he will actually play better. I'm not sold that Mitch Trubisky can have another hot game. So I'm actually taking the Cowboys to win this game and to cover in Chicago so Jason Garrett can sign that 10-year contract.
You know what, Ryan? The McAllister family left Kevin in Chicago in the first Home Alone movie, and I think the Cowboys should do that to Jason Garrett if he loses this game. The Cowboys have been hovering around rock bottom for the past few weeks, and losing to the Bears would be hitting rock bottom. The Bears have been kind of a mess. You said they've been a little bit hot lately, but as much pressure as that is on Jason Garrett, this is one of those things. You look at the Bears record, it's 6-6. Thank God to the Cowboys. It's not a team with a winning record, so the Cowboys can actually win this game. Jason Garrett is great at winning games when he has 10 times more talent than the other team, and that's what I feel about this. I don't even think Jason Garrett is bad enough to blow this game. It's one of those where you give it to Ezekiel Elliott a bunch of times, you feed him. Dak Prescott's looked good the past few weeks. I just think the Cowboys have way more talent than the Bears, and not even Jason Garrett can botch this, so I do like Dallas to win and cover.
Yeah, look, Breech and Wilson both hinted at it. If there's one thing the Cowboys can do, we know what they can do is beat up on bad teams. And I know the Bears are 6-6, but as Ryan mentioned, half their wins have come against bad football teams. Congrats to the Bears. They beat David Blau and they beat Jeff Driscoll. That's nothing to write home about. And so I hate to make the game as simple as just looking at the 2 quarterbacks, but for me, it really is that simple. You look at all the advanced metrics. Dak Prescott is playing like one of the best quarterbacks in football, and I know he's fallen out of the MVP race after the last couple of weeks, not being able to pull off that game-winning drive against the Patriots and then his Thanksgiving turnovers. But if you look at Mitch Trubisky's ceiling, which he's played at last week, is Dak Prescott's floor. So I still love the Cowboys in this game because I think even if you're getting Trubisky at his best, I still think Dak, even at his worst, is going to be able to match that. So I like the Cowboys to win this game, cover the spread. I might like the over, though, because I do think Trubisky has shown signs of breaking out in recent weeks, again, by his standards. So would it be surprising to me if the Bears can get, to 17, 20 points? And I think the Cowboys will be able to score way more than that.
Yeah, I think people are going to be thinking about the Cowboys and remembering what happened on Thanksgiving at home against the Bills, and people are going to want to take the Bears here in this spot, but the line is begging you to take the Cowboys. I think my lean right now would be to Dallas because I agree with you guys. Like, you look at what the Bears do when they play bad teams. When the Bears play bad teams, they can whip up on them, but when they get a half-decent, half-competent defense, they scored 7 points against the Rams 3 weeks ago, 14 points against the Eagles back in early November. It's not like they're suddenly peaking after beating the Giants and the Lions. So I would probably take the Cowboys right now, knowing that this is not a traditional Thursday night game because the Cowboys do have a full 7 days of rest. The Bears do too, but this is just like basically a real game in terms of the difference between the time span between the games. Ravens -5.5 at the Bills, the suddenly primetime Bills. Everybody's watching their games. Josh Allen morphing into a great quarterback right in front of your face, Sean. But John, the Ravens are -5.5 in Buffalo. They did not cover against San Francisco. They were a huge favorite. Didn't pull that off. Now they're a 6 or 5.5 point favorite on the road in Buffalo. Over under 44. Where are you going with this one?
Well, let me just first say, as the only guy on this video podcast that picked the Buffalo Bills to beat the Cowboys on Thanksgiving Day, I am riding the Bills bandwagon hard, but not this week. Because if there's one thing they have kind of struggled with, it is stopping the run. And you know who runs better than everyone? The Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens might not even throw a forward pass in this game. They're just going to run. They'll probably go for over 200 yards again. I think this game will be a blowout. I think the Ravens probably win by double digits. We've seen them beat so many good teams over the past few weeks. The Patriots, the Texans, the Rams, the 49ers on Sunday. And not one team has been able to figure out how to stop them. And I also like the over because I think the Ravens are going to put up 30, 35 points, which means the Bills only have to score 14 to hit the over, and I think they'll at least do that with Josh Allen. So over, Ravens to win and cover.
Yeah, unfortunately, I am the resident Josh Allen hater and Bills hater on this podcast. I do have to admit, like Brinson said, Josh Allen's playing really well right now. I would say a top 15 quarterback if you look at his last 7-8 games. Unfortunately, Breech is also right. I have no idea how this Bills defense, which is susceptible against the run, is going to stop Lamar Jackson and Mark Ingram. But I think the bigger reason why I like the Ravens in this game is their defense continues to round into form. If you look at their 8-game winning streak, it's not just Lamar Jackson. It's also a defense that's given up 17 points per game. Josh Allen's playing great. Hats off to him. He's developing along nicely. I do think he's going to hit a bit of a rough patch. And, quite frankly, I'm kind of happy that on Thanksgiving in the marquee game of the day, he put up a good stat line and played well because I do think you're getting a good number here with the Ravens. I think it should be bigger. I think Ravens win, like Breech said, by double digits.
Oh, that's shot a little backhanded compliment to Josh Allen there, Sean. I'm sure he'll come back to bite you. You guys are forgetting Josh Allen played on national television for the first time and absolutely demoralized Jason Garrett. 2 weeks from now, he'll be playing on national television. They flex the game in Pittsburgh. He'll be back, stuffing it in your face, Sean. And you too, Breech. While I'm at it, you guys got me angry now as I try to rep Western New York. Here's the thing: the Cowboys. The Ravens are going to win this game, but it's not solely because the Bills can't stop the run. They held Zeke Elliott to 12 carries for 71 yards in that game on Turkey Day, and they shut down the offense pretty much overall. Don't laugh. Did you see what they did at the end of that game? Hey, look, don't get mad. Get better. 12 for 71. You would take that against Zeke Elliott. You will take that against Mark Ingram. You should have to figure out how to shut down Lamar Jackson, and that's the issue. So I think they can be competitive in this game. I think Sean McDermott's obviously a much better coach than Jason Garrett was last week. But again, John Harbaugh's doing a fantastic job. He's the coach of the year candidate, numero uno for me right now. And I think the Bills are going to cover this game. They're not going to be able to beat the Ravens. So I think the Ravens eke one out up in Buffalo, New York.
First of all, Ryan, 71 divided by 12 is 5.9 yards per carry. So, do the math. That's actually pretty good. I mean, like, they got the Cowboys to abandon the run, even though it was successful early on. And two, Ryan, I just saw this huge truck go flying past my house. It's the Lamar Jackson bandwagon. You're not on it, I guess. Anyway, I like the Ravens in this spot as well. They were -7 on the look-ahead line from the Westgate before Week 13. They played a tight, so all this goes down. You see the Bills on national TV. They take care of business against the Cowboys. They look awesome. And then you see the Ravens, not struggling, but, in a dogfight, in a great game against San Francisco that came down to a last-second kick. And so you lose a point and a half of value there. I think the Ravens will dominate them. You can run on the Bills, as we pointed out. We've been saying it for weeks. Yes, you can. You just can. You can. You can run on the Bills. And they're going to run a lot. They're going to see a bunch of different stuff. Sean McDermott's got a great secondary, but Baltimore is fine morphing the game plan to whatever works best. It's going to be probably nasty weather. I like the Ravens to roll in this one. Bills come back down to earth. Best game of the week, I think. Well, actually, oh my God, Week 14 is loaded, man. 49ers at Saints. Saints -3, Sean. This is going to be for first place in the NFC. Over under 45.5. What do you think about this?
I love the 49ers, and I know it's probably going to be Ryan who's going to claim he's been on the bandwagon all season long. I might not have been first on the bandwagon. I might have hated on them all season, but I'm jumping on now. We spent a lot of time on the podcast talking about tiers in the NFC. I think they are alone at the top in terms of a complete team, and I know they didn't win against the Ravens on Sunday, but I came away impressed, and my takeaway was that they're right up there with the best team in football, which is the Baltimore Ravens. It was the first time all season the Ravens did not score more than 20 points. And if you look at the way the game was played, if the 49ers run a different play call on that fourth down late in the game, this outcome might be a whole lot different. So I actually like the 49ers to go in there, at least cover, probably win. And I also like the under. I think both of these defenses are good. Obviously, the 49ers are probably the second best defense right behind the Patriots. And I think the Saints defense continues to still kind of fly a little bit under the radar. I know they did well against the Falcons, but everyone dismisses that as just playing the Falcons. So I like the under, and I also think the 49ers probably go in there and pull off the upset.
I'm going to spend the next 5 minutes talking about how awesome the Bills' run defense is, just to stick it to you suckers. Actually, I can't believe I'm going to say this. I agree with Sean after ripping him a new one. In the previous conversation, he's right about everything he said about the 49ers. Even though I'll even give him this. He was first on the San Francisco bandwagon. I saw him run around Oakland with a San Francisco hat on. Way to go, Sean. Here's the thing about the Saints, though. I'm not sold on their defense, and I'm not sold on their offense either. They've been sort of up and down since Drew Brees has come back from the hand injury. I'm not saying you go back to Teddy B or anything like that, but the offense needs to find its rhythm and hasn't quite done that. And I was really impressed with how San Francisco played in Baltimore. Kyle Shanahan, I thought, for the most part, did a great job dialing up plays in truly horrible weather. Every time they go to the East Coast, they're in a monsoon. So they did well there, and I think not only are they going to win, I think they're going to cover on the road in New Orleans.
Yeah, this is an odd game, and I absolutely agree with Ryan about the Saints. I don't know what to make of their defense or their offense or their special teams. They refuse to recover onside kicks. What if this game comes down to an onside kick? That means the 49ers are going to win because the Saints refuse to recover them. One thing about this game is the 49ers have been a little bit iffy on the road. We saw them lose to the Ravens. Yes, the Ravens are a very good team. That's an excusable loss. But they also struggled against the Cardinals a few weeks ago. That was a 28-25 game. They played the Redskins. They only won 9-0. I know it was played in a monsoon, but still only beating the Redskins 9-0. Not great. And they played the Rams, and they won 20-7 in another road game. So they have not played super when they played on the road, and flying across the country to play the Saints in New Orleans. I think I like the 49ers to cover, but I'm not sure if I'm going to pick them to win. And I also like the over because I do think for some reason that the Saints are going to be able to put up points on the 49ers. I think both teams will score in the high 20s, and it will be close. So I like the over and the 49ers to cover. I'm not sure I'm going to pick the win yet.
I'm going to take the Saints here. Saints at home. People are sort of sleeping on. I don't think they liked what they saw against them. It was a late night game. Everybody's asleep in that Atlanta game. They went to bed when the Saints were up big. Nobody really cares about the Falcons quite as much. They were on the road. They have 10 days of rest. The 49ers are coming off a game where they got physical, got beat up. I mean, against the Ravens, a tough game. And I just think New Orleans understands what's at stake here. They're fantastic at home late in the season under Sean Payton with Drew Brees. He's throwing the ball, spinning the ball a little bit better, not necessarily throwing down the field great quite yet. But this is a good, I think that they can move the ball on the 49ers because they like to utilize their running backs in short area yardage when it comes to receiving the ball. So I like the Saints to win this one. And I would also agree with Breech on the under. I think that typically speaking, people get hyped up about a potential over in this spot, but these are two really good defenses, and I think they could limit scoring, and you'll see the Saints be fairly methodical here. Another great game, Chiefs at Pats. Whoo. Patriots currently playing on Sunday Night Football in Houston, have to come home and play another AFC contender in Kansas City. The Patriots are favored by 3.5 points. The over-under here is 49. Kansas City obliterated John Gruden and the Oakland Raiders on Sunday. Ryan, what do you think? Are you going to back the Pats at home here?
I'm hesitating, Brinson, because I don't know what to make of this Patriots offense. And that's what we've been saying all season. And it seems like the Sunday night game against Houston, at least the first half, raises a lot of red flags. I know we like to clown on the Chiefs defense, but they're 12th according to Football Outsiders. They're 6th against the pass. Guess what the Patriots suck at? Throwing the football somehow. But they're 30th against the run, so they may have to lean on the running game, Josh McDaniels and the Patriots. But even still, I like Andy Reid matched up against Bill Belichick, and that sounds insane to say. But remember in 2017, the Week 1 game in New England, The Chiefs went down early. No worries. They came back, won that game. Patrick Mahomes is sort of rounding into form. He seems fine after the knee dislocation. I think they have a chance to go in there, and if Patrick Mahomes minimizes mistakes, and he could have had a couple of interceptions against the Raiders, flags brought them back. But I feel like he has a chance to go in there and win that football game, and obviously they would cover. I'm going to pick him to win, and also I like the under.
Yeah, as far as the Patriots offense goes, unless they somehow sign Antonio Brown in the next 5 days, I just don't see how they're going to score any points. No matter what you think of the Chiefs defense, I'm not sure the Patriots could score on air right now. That is how bad their offense has looked over the past few weeks. And when you're playing against a high-flying team like the Chiefs, it's hard for me to picture keeping up. And Ryan referenced that game in the opener where the Chiefs blew out the Patriots. There was also another blowout in Foxborough in 2014, the famous On to Cincinnati game, where the Chiefs destroyed the Patriots. Everyone thought Tom Brady was going to retire. So Andy Reid has absolutely shown up to New England, outcoached Belichick. We've seen it happen multiple times. I think it probably happens again this week. And if you're a Patriots fan, man, you are afraid, because if you lose to the Chiefs, all of a sudden, maybe you're not the number one seed anymore because Baltimore's creeping up there. This is a very interesting game, and I think the Chiefs are probably going to win this and cover it.
Yeah, the Patriots would be worried about more than. Sorry. Continue, Sean.
My turn, Brinson. God, the host can't even follow the instructions. So 2 hours ago, I'm looking.
Long, I couldn't. I just thought it'd been 10 minutes. So I kept trying to jump in. Go ahead.
Blame it on Breech. Classic Brinson, throwing someone else under the bus. So 2 hours ago, when I was looking at these lines, I was prepared to take the Patriots. I mean, I know Ryan mentioned Mahomes looking healthy. That's true. But Mahomes is also maybe coming off his worst 2-game stretch in his career. 55% of his passes completed, 5.9 yards per attempt, only 2 touchdowns, only one interception. But as Ryan mentioned, he should have had at least 2 against the Raiders. So I was completely prepared to take the Patriots, and I felt really good about it. And then we watched the first half of New England-Houston. And man, that offense is so bad. And then you look at how Houston was actually able to score touchdowns. And one of them was Carlos Hyde coming out of the backfield and taking advantage of the Patriots linebackers in coverage. And I just feel like Andy Reid's going to be able to look at that. The Chiefs offense has so much more speed than even the Texans do, that I feel like Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes are going to be able to put up enough points. And then when you come down to it, do you think the Patriots offense, if they go into a deficit against Mahomes, can they throw the ball against this Chiefs defense? Which sounds insane to say because the Chiefs defense has been the weakness of the team for the last 2 years, but I don't think they can. So I like the Chiefs, and I know that's the kiss of death because I think that's all 3 of us now who like the Chiefs to go into New England and beat the Patriots, which means the Patriots are probably going to win by 28. But I do like the Chiefs, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, with the Chiefs, you do have an opportunity, if it stays at 3.5, to come through the back door. I will, however, take the Patriots. I know the offense looks bad. They're a much better team at home, though. You can run the ball against Kansas City. Their defense has gotten better, I agree, but it's better against the pass, and the Patriots can't really pass the ball. You can dink and dunk against the Chiefs, too, so I think Edelman will have a nice day. Sony Michel will get going. Their run game has looked all right. I thought early on against the Texans, they moved the ball, they marched the ball down the field running the ball, and then they just really haven't adjusted, and Tom Brady feels the need to take these deep shots to Jacoby Myers and Julian Edelman. It's very bizarre. So I will take the Patriots as a short favorite at home. I would want it to be under 3, which I think is possible given how the Patriots have played in recent weeks and given how the Chiefs have looked. I think you could probably get it at less than a field goal. Maybe you take the money line. I would be a little cautious about taking the over here. I know the last time these two teams played with Mahomes there, they did a ton of scoring late and it ended up going over. But I think the Patriots would love to turn this into a grind type of game. And we even saw with the, against the Raiders, 49 total points and at least 14 of those were in total garbage time. So I would maybe lean towards the Patriots in the under here. I think too, that's probably correlated. Like if the Chiefs cover and win, it's probably going over. And if the Patriots cover and win, it's probably going under. Seahawks -3 at the Rams, Sunday Night Football. Seahawks favored on the road. They, of course, are playing on Monday night at home against the Vikings. So this could certainly shift if they lose, if they win big. The Rams roll the Cardinals. Rams beat up on a bad team again. Jared Goff is making a run at Norm Van Brocklin's record. Breech, over under 46.5. Where are you going here?
Did Sean McVay go in a time machine on Saturday and pull out the 2018 Rams? Because that's what they looked like on Sunday against the Cardinals. We can say the Cards are a bad team, but they've played well against the 49ers twice. They played well against good teams. And we saw the Rams offense put up 549 yards. That was the second highest total under McVay. So they're going to be going in the Seahawks game feeling pretty confident about themselves. But the one thing that I like about the Seahawks is that the last time these two teams played earlier this year, the Seahawks won. And they won even though it was early season. Seattle usually struggles early in the season because that's the part where Russell Wilson, no one knows what's going on in the Seahawks offense early in the season. Russell Wilson's still trying to figure out the names of his offensive teammates because the roster gets turned over so often. He has no idea who he's throwing passes to, and they still won. And I think the Seahawks have only gotten better since that first game, which Seattle won 30-29. So I like the Seahawks to win here, cover, and probably even win by a touchdown and go over 46.5.
Yeah, I mean, kudos to Jared Goff and Sean McVay for tearing up the Cardinals defense. I don't see it happening again. You look at the Seahawks defense. I think they're going to be able to apply pressure on Jared Goff, and that's really his kryptonite. And heading into Monday night, the Seahawks game against the Vikings, Clowney and Jerron Reed are both expected to play, according to Pete Carroll. Assuming they don't pick up any more injuries, they should be good to go for next week against the Rams. And if you look at how the Rams dominated and tore up the Cardinals, Jared Goff just had clean pocket after clean pocket, and that's really the key to his success and has been throughout his career. I think the Seahawks can do enough to disrupt that. And, offensively, Aaron Donald's a great player, but Russell Wilson is like one of those only players who can kind of negate Aaron Donald with his mobility, and, he can work outside the pocket. So I like the Seahawks to win this game. I'm not really buying what the Rams did. Great. They had a one week outburst. But let's look at what the past year, what they've done. It's been pretty terrible. So I'm not buying into this 1 week outburst. I like the Seahawks, and I also think I like the under. Wouldn't surprise me if the Seahawks run the ball a lot, and I'm just frankly just not buying the Rams offense being able to score that many points against the Seahawks defense, by the way, that is improving. They've jumped from 21st to 16th in DVOA heading into Monday night.
No, Sean's right about the Seahawks defense improving, and also worth noting, the Rams defense is 11th or 12th, I think, according to our buddies, Football Outsiders. But they're really, really good against the run, 3rd overall, which hopefully means for Brian Schottenheimer that if they run the ball early in Seattle and it doesn't work, they will let Russell Wilson do what Russell Wilson does best. Once that happens, that game is a wrap. I'm not concerned about the Rams' outburst against the Cardinals. As Sean pointed out, the Cardinals defense is one of the worst defenses in the league. Sean was quite disrespectful. He called out Jared Goff and Sean McVay for having big nights. Blake Bortles got in the game. That should tell you how terrible the Cardinals are. I think the Seattle Seahawks are going to roll in this game, and I think we'll remember exactly why the Rams and Sean McVay are not a good football team after this game is over.
I'm not going to take Russell. I'm not going to fade Russell Wilson in primetime. What do you want me to do? Look, I think part of the problem is the plus 3. Part of the problem with the plus 3, that was a pause to see if Breech was going to say something else. The problem with the plus 3 is that I think you make me want to take the home team in prime time. Although the last time we did that with the Rams, they got obliterated by Lamar Jackson and the Ravens. I don't know. I would lean Rams right now. I would also lean towards the under. I think I would wait and make a play on this game. But a dog at home on Sunday night, that's you can catch a team that's feeling a little frisky. They played well against the Seahawks the first time the two teams matched up. Should have beat the Seahawks if Greg Zuerlein makes that kick. Maybe it's a closer game. So I would probably lean towards taking the points. And hopefully if the Seahawks win on Monday night, it ends up being even more inflated. And you can really get 4.5 points there. All right, that's it for the YouTube show. Week 14 look-ahead lines. We'll be back, of course, next week to do this for Week 15. And we have the Brady Quinn Football Show on YouTube. We do our pick show on YouTube. So make sure and subscribe and go to Apple Podcasts and check out our Pick 6 podcast. 8 shows a week. We'll be doing a Sunday night recap. Talk to you guys soon.